Get in. What a result. What a massive, massive result for Arsenal Football Club. Arsenal 2, Newcastle 1 at St. James's Park. Massive, massive result. Honestly, I'm so proud of the boys. That was a huge, huge result. It's been a while since I made my last video. I've started a new job, I've been away on holiday, and life's just been a bit mental. But I think off the back of that disappointing result against Manchester City and listening to all of the mainstream noise about how Arsenal aren't brave enough, how Arteta's not the guy, and that we need to take the handbrake off, and we're not playing like champions, after all of that noise, to go and do what we did against Newcastle under those circumstances, I'm just so proud today. There's just moments where you finish a game and as a supporter you just go, I'm proud of my football club, I'm proud of my players and my manager, and today is one of those days. It was an awesome weekend leading into the game. We had Chelsea losing, we had Manchester United losing, we had Tottenham celebrating a last-minute equaliser at home to Wolves like they'd won the Champions League. And then to top it off, Liverpool finally ran out of luck and got a little bit of their own medicine with a last-minute winner from yours truly, Eddie Nketiah, which was a beautiful moment to see. But what that meant was that we had to capitalise on that. We had to capitalise on Liverpool's slip-up. And last season, that is something that we just could not do. Every time Liverpool slipped up last year, we just could not find a way to capitalise on that mistake. And that is one of many reasons for why we didn't win the league last year. So going into this game, the pressure on us from a point of last week's result against Man City factored in with the fact that Liverpool had finally not won a match, and this was an opportunity to kind of shorten the gap to them. There was just so much pressure going into it, and obviously when I saw the starting 11, I was actually really happy with the starting 11. The only thing that kind of threw me was the fact that Saliba was on the bench. I didn't quite get that one, if I'm being honest. Mosquera's had an unbelievable start to the season, but I just think in this type of game, I would have gone with Saliba all day long. But it is what it is. Started the game, I thought we looked really good. I thought that first half in particular, we looked really, really solid. I liked the way we were playing. We looked assured at the back. We were looking dangerous going forward. We were creating chances. Eze was always in a kind of dangerous position, got a few good shots off. Pope was being overworked. The Gyökeres penalty, look, we won, so I'm not going to kind of spend a lot of time on this. And I know there were some other decisions later in the game around potential penalties that may have meant things had balanced out. But if we just factor on that first Gyökeres penalty, which was given by the referee, and if we're all honest, anyone watching that game in real time shouted penalty when Gyökeres went down, because it was a penalty. My issue with this is that the new rules this season are that unless it is a clear and obvious error by the referee, VAR are not meant to get involved. So why are VAR getting involved? The referee's given a penalty. VAR, for some reason, decide that they're going to jump in and tell him to go look at it. He spent probably 5 minutes looking at the replay on that one. He watched probably 15 goes of it, which again proves that it wasn't a clear and obvious decision. But lo and behold, he changed his mind, and the penalty was ruled out. And in my opinion, then that was a moment there where the entire kind of momentum of the game could have shifted. And I just thought that was a really unfair decision. And what really frustrates me is that in these massive games like this, where there's so much on the line, I just don't think that should be happening. Like, whether or not Pope gets a touch on the ball before he takes out Gyökeres, it doesn't matter, because the rules are, unless it's clear and obvious, VAR shouldn't be getting involved. And so in my opinion, that should have been a penalty, and we should have had the chance to go 1-0 up, which in these types of games is a huge opportunity to go on and actually win the game from that point. It didn't happen. Trossard hits the post, we're looking good, and then all of a sudden Mosquera makes his error with the back pass. A lot of people have been getting on Mosquera's back. I actually don't think he played that badly. I think he looked all right while he was on the field. But obviously that mistake gets highlighted because the goal, it led to a goal. But if I'm being honest, the person that I'm putting all the blame on is Big Gabby. I love Big Gabby. He's one of my favourite players. But at the end of the day, he made the wrong decision there. He obviously felt a push in the back. He decided to try and win the free kick by going down. But the problem with that is that if you don't win the free kick, you look incredibly soft, you look stupid, and they scored from it, which made it even worse. So I think that was a really poor decision from Big Gabby. I would have much rather have seen him just stay strong, head the ball away, and off we go. So for them to go 1-0 up after what I thought was such a kind of impressive performance from Arsenal up until that point was really disappointing, and it was starting to feel like another type of performance where we just weren't getting the rub of the green. And particularly away at St James's Park, where they've had our number now for a few seasons, I was not feeling too confident at that point. Halftime rolls around, Saliba comes on, which I think was the right decision. And again, I thought in the second half we were the better team. Like, anyone saying that this was a kind of snatch and grab result is talking absolute nonsense. We were the better team. We played the better football. In my opinion, we were the only team trying to actually win the game. I think particularly in that second half, Newcastle resorted back to the kind of tactics that they're known for, which is kind of rough and tumble football, trying to slow things down. And so I'm so proud that Arsenal managed to pull this one out of the fire, because not only did we deserve to win, but it's just about time that we got a bit of luck in this instance. Obviously, Marino gets the equaliser. Beautiful little flick-on header, which is becoming a bit of a kind of trait for him. I think he's a really underrated player. I still don't know what his best position is, and I don't know where he fits into this team. But from a point of view of kind of contributing with important goals, he's so clutch. He's so clutch. And so, yeah, we bring it back to 1-1, deservedly so. And what I loved to see was the fact that the players grabbed the ball straight back to the halfway line, ready for the kickoff to try and go and win the game. That was really great to see. And at that point, I'm thinking to myself, look, I don't know if there's enough time, but all I want to see is us just go for it. And, you know, at one point we had 3 defenders on the pitch. We had Odegaard on there, we had Eze on there, we had Trossard on there, we had Martinelli on there. You know, we were definitely going for the win, and that was really positive to see. And then who else? Who else but the man who, in my opinion, was the reason why we were 1-0 down in the first place, pops up with a huge header at the death to win 2-1. And in my opinion, as I've already said, a very, very, very deserved win for Arsenal Football Club. If we just look at a couple of standouts, I think Timber again. I think he is just, every week now, he is an 8 or 9 out of 10. He is just so rock solid. And in my opinion, I know Hakimi gets all the kind of plaudits for being this kind of attacking fullback. And look, he's a fantastic player, but Timber, for me, he's definitely top 2 right backs in the world, hands down. And if you gave me the option between Hakimi and Timber, I'm taking Timber all day long. I don't care what you say. I want my right back to be a defender first and foremost. And I do think he's improving going forward as well. I thought the other defenders were okay without being great. I thought Zubimendi was pretty solid. I thought Rice was excellent today. He got up and down that field like an absolute soldier. He wanted to get on the ball when we were 1-0 down and try and make things happen. He had an amazing track back and last ditch block on a shot which could have taken Newcastle 2-1 up right towards the end of the game before we got our winner. Just a really solid kind of captain-like performance from Rice. I thought Eze looked dangerous pretty much all game. It was really nice to see him in that 10 role, and I just thought he looked dangerous and had a couple of good shots and tested Pope on a few occasions, which was great. I thought Saka was really good as well, considering he's coming back from injury, particularly in that first half. He had, Dan Burns on toast. And I thought this was actually probably one of Gyökeres's better games. I know he didn't get a goal, but in terms of hold-up play, link-up play, he made a couple of good runs, and given the way he was kind of manhandled by the Newcastle defenders, kicked, elbowed, clawed on the face. What I loved about his performance today was he never gave up. He's just got so much energy and willingness to keep going, and I think in these types of games that's really valuable. Like I said, I just think with everything that was riding on this game after the result against Man City, the result against Liverpool, but also the fact that Liverpool had lost finally and had shown that they are human. The fact that we could go to a bogey ground like St James's Park and pull out a win under difficult circumstances was just so great to see. And I think it's going to be a massive result for this team moving forward. I've looked at the fixtures over the next kind of month, and I think Liverpool definitely have the harder run of fixtures. There's no easy game in the Premier League anymore, so I know you can't look too much into that, but it'll be interesting to see now how the two teams kind of respond to this weekend, because I do think Liverpool have been riding their luck a little bit since the start of the season. So it'll be interesting to see if this kind of clicks them into gear, or maybe they start to see a couple more wobbles, and it will be about whether Arsenal can kind of really put their foot on the gas and just find that kind of that killer instinct, because I definitely don't think we've been anywhere near our best yet either this season. So I think both teams are still trying to find their feet, find their rhythm, find their perfect 11. But I'm just so glad that I'm sitting here with a 2-point deficit and not what could have been an 8-point deficit. I mean, if Liverpool would have beaten Crystal Palace and we would have lost to Newcastle, which, let's face it, we do more often than not, we could have been sitting here after 6 games with an 8-point gap to Liverpool, which would have just been catastrophic. And just before I leave, I think it's really worth noting that if you look at the first 6 games we've had Manchester United away, we've had Liverpool away, we've had Newcastle away, and we've had Manchester City at home. And to be only 2 points behind Liverpool, I think all in all is a pretty solid place to be at. Could it be better? Do I think we should have beaten Man City? Yes. Would I have liked us to have finally kind of broken that Anfield hoodoo? Yes, but I think all in all, if you look at the context, if you apply context to all 6 matches, and if you sit here now and say, right, we're 2 points behind Liverpool, we now have the momentum going into game week 7. I'm in a pretty good place. So yeah, really proud of the boys, really proud of Arteta, and just an awesome week or weekend all year round, all week. Yeah. An awesome weekend for Arsenal. So yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments. Like, subscribe, hype, whatever you need to do. Much love, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.